Right. Well, good evening, laddies, lasses, and lassos. Today I figured we would do something slightly different, but something that I think a lot of people would find interesting. So, I've been doing YouTube full time for a little while, and I figured I would make a crash course in ASMR, of course, because because why not? And with this crash course, you can learn things about how to start a YouTube channel, some of the background analytics, that kind of stuff, and some tips and tricks I learned along the way. So let's see. So what I've done is that I've added this little bad boy to kind of capture some of these sounds. Oh yeah, look at my ability to not even draw straight lines. Luckily, you won't need to draw straight lines to become a YouTuber, unless that's your thing. So, what makes a YouTube channel successful? There are a lot of different things that makes YouTube channels good. I would say a few things that are very important when you start off. If you're a fresh little YouTuber, I'm actually gonna draw a YouTube logo. Check this out. It's gonna be absolute trash because I can't draw. Oh, there we go. And then there's like, oh yeah, I am not an animator on YouTube, luckily. So, what do you need to get started on YouTube? I would say the first thing is to treat it as a hobby. If you go into YouTube expecting to make a lot of money or be popular or any of these things, you're probably going to get burned out very fast. The thing that all YouTubers have in common, no matter how small or big we are, is that we all started off making videos as a hobby. And that is essentially how the progress of becoming an YouTuber works. You do something as a hobby, as a passion project, and eventually it might turn into a job. And you can drink coffee on camera and somehow make that into content. So, the thing about starting a channel is that you probably have something that you're interested in, which is something like this. This is your interest. Actually, I put this on the left side. Since I'm right-handed, this will make it capture a bit more of the noisy noises. And then there are things online that are popular. Let's draw another circle here. This is trends. So the thing with these two is that you want to find this content right here. So for example, in my case, I really enjoy making voiceover stuff, voice acting, being on the mic, improvisational humor, that kind of stuff. So for me, what I found on my main channel, which worked super well, is that I enjoy doing that stuff. It lands here. And the trending content I found related to it was, for example, Reddit videos, Let's Plays, those kinds of things. So I picked one of those and went with it. And that made me end up right here. Easier said than done, but if I were to compare this to, for example, being an independent musician, nobody knows what to search for. If you start writing music that is completely independent, nobody will really know what they're even looking for. And that can be very challenging to get started with. So I would say finding this golden niche in the middle is what you're looking for. Because if you make a video on a popular game, for example, people will already be searching for that game. You will get traffic from other videos, and if they like what they see specifically on your channel related to this topic that already exists, they might stick around. There we go. Beautiful. So, what makes a YouTube video good? Now, this is a bit longer down the line. The most difficult part about YouTube is to actually get started in the first place, get those first few hundred subs, get some kind of notoriety in the first place, which can be very difficult, very disheartening. But there are a few factors that makes YouTube look at your video and say, wow, this is a good video. We want to show this. The first one is monetization and status. Now, this doesn't necessarily determine how good a video is, but from a business perspective, YouTube does prioritize monetized videos. They don't say they do specifically, but when you look at view curves, when you have a decent library of videos, you will notice that as soon as a video gets a demonetization, YouTube punishes it a lot in recommended, which is understandable. It's a business, something that doesn't make money. Of course, they want to show the viewer something that will make both the creator and the platform money. It makes sense. It's a business. It has to go around. I just wish they were more transparent about it. Second thing is watch time. And I will just write that as AR, audience retention. Audience retention is measured in two metrics, both absolute time, which is, for example, people watched your videos for 5.5 minutes on average. Or let's take a more simple number. Let's take 5 minutes exactly. This means that, for example, one person watched your video for 10 minutes. A second person clicked out instantly. The average audience retention for those two people will be 5 minutes. Now this might mean, for example, 50%. So when YouTube looks at your watch time and performance, oh dear God, I apologize for the rumblies. YouTube will look at both the absolute time and the percentage. So you can say that if you have longer videos, you can have a higher watch time, but a lower percentage typically. So very short videos need to have a very high percentage to perform well for YouTube to say, oh, this is content that is interesting to people. Because if you make a 30-second video and people click out halfway through, you can't even keep their attention for 15 seconds. It's probably not a great video. And one more thing that really matters is click-through ratio. I can't even spell it. Look at me being a professional. So what does this mean? Click-through ratio basically means how many times your video has been shown in recommended feeds or sub boxes where people actually click on it. So when you have the YouTube homepage, you typically have a lot of stuff on the side here. You have some kind of logo up here, and then you get some recommended videos on your homepage. It can be subscriptions, videos you watched before, finish this video, for example, or trending pages. Now, maybe this one is your video, for example. This means that if people click on this specific thumbnail, on average, 1 out of 10 times, that means your CTR, or click-through ratio, will be 10%. Now, why is this important? Well, of course, it's pretty obvious that if your video gets shown to people and they choose to click it, your views will go up. But it's kind of a snowball effect, because when your CTR is high, more people click on it initially when it's shown, but YouTube will also recognize that, hey, this is a topic that people seem interested in, so they will also recommend it more. So click-through ratio, if you have, for example, 10% click-through ratio, and then your second video has a click-through ratio of, let's say, 20%. This one, if they have the same number of impressions, this one will probably not have double the views. It will probably have closer to something like triple the views, because this number itself makes the views go up, but it also makes YouTube recommend it more. It's kind of a nice little niche there. So how do you get all these things together? One thing that I see so many people, when they reach out to me, ask, hey, how do you become a good YouTuber? Insinuating that I'm a good YouTuber. Not my words. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Okay, we have established that I'm an asshole. So, how do you actually get started with your videos, get the video flow? People always ask me, almost like there is a formula for it. And sadly enough, there isn't. There isn't a secret formula to how make a video good. But a few things that I can personally recommend is time. You need to invest a lot of time to get the hang of videos. This is not only to get, your comedic timing right or get your editing on point, but it's also to find your niche. If you, for example, go back on my channel through the timeline, let's just say the last year, from 2019-ish up until now, you will find that there's a massive, massive development of, what should I put it, niche. My first videos over here are very vanilla, very standard content. You would find those kinds of videos basically anywhere. Carbon copies, maybe slightly different depending on which narration voice you like. But as time went on, I found more and more things that were unique to my channel, and that is essentially what makes people stay. This curve, whatever you want to call it, your niche curve or personality development or whatever you want to call it, is very heavily correlated with something that I call how close your audience is. You can imagine this circle right here. This is your entire sub base, which let's say you have 50,000 subscribers. Your channel has started gaining some decent traction. You probably have a partnership, and you have something good going. So this line right here is 50,000 people. You know what? Let's actually use the eraser for the first time. Let's just write as 50K instead. Much better. This is your entire sub base that have subbed to your channel, that are interested in your content, assuming that your channel is relatively new, so your sub base is active, so to say. Just checking, so my recording is still going. Otherwise, that would be a shame. Indeed it is. Beautiful. So what does this mean right here? Well, if you upload a video that is generally attractive to your audience, let's say, take my channel for example. If I upload a typical subreddit video that I often cover, I would get about my sub reach plus a slightly larger circle. These are the people that watch Reddit videos on the regular, but maybe they don't specifically watch my videos. They're not subscribed to my channel, but they bump into my videos occasionally because of Reddit. So they're like, okay, I find this guy enjoyable enough to watch because he covers this specific content, but they might not be invested enough to subscribe to my channel or seek me out specifically. They're mainly there for the topic. That's this outer line. This line right here, these are your subs. They will follow you a bit more closely, but just because someone clicked the subscribe button on YouTube does not mean they're necessarily deeply invested in you. It's more like, oh, they found an interesting video. They might want to come back for more at some point. What we have after that is the closer circle. And I would say this is probably around, let's say it's around 25K. It's about half. These are your subscribers that are there because they know you. They come back specifically for you. They might even watch videos you do. Oh, testing. Okay, I think my test, okay. This is a little cork. Oh God. Testing. All right, my preview. The sound is still going, but my headphones kind of glitched out for some reason. But that's fine. It's no biggie. So, this inner circle here, these are pretty much your subscribers that come back for you specifically. They might not be so invested that they seek you out on our social media, or they are willing to, sign up for different memberships or patrons or special content, but these are people that would probably watch your videos, even when you upload stuff that is slightly outside your usual content. So this is your more loyal circle of subscribers. After that, you'll have this circle that, let's say it's 10k. These are the amount of people that are willing to join your Discord, follow you on Twitter, all that kind of stuff. People that are genuinely interested in you specifically as a content creator. And to some extent, I guess, a person. Yeah. And then at the very center here, you have a small, small dot. And these are the people that will seek you out on, for example, Patreon or subscribe to memberships, OnlyFans. But there are people who are actually willing to open their pockets to show their support to you. And these are freaking amazing. And I still can't believe that I actually have people like this on my channel. It is amazing, and they make such a big difference. Just the thought behind it, that someone is willing to actually support your content like that, it blows my mind, and I'm so grateful for that. Especially on the podcast we run, this is amazing. And then, on occasion, you will have a video that performs better than your typical content. For me, this was, for example, Noah Get the Boat videos. So let's say this one is like at 500k. This is your semi-viral stuff, if that makes sense. This will also increase your circles, because this thing brings in new subs. So that will increase the size of the circle, and it also brings this specific content out to a much broader audience. So, what's the best strategy? Well, balance this baby. You want to hit content, like I said before, that is within your interest and also hits trends. Because what happens then is that you will get a relatively loyal fan base in the center that come back for you. But since you're also touching a bit on topics that are trending, you will also hit a couple of these ones, if you're lucky, which will in then turn grow your channel and grow your center audience. And this part of the circle, the core of it, this is the longevity of your YouTube channel. These are people that come back to you even if YouTube were to spit you out of the algorithm or you fall out of trends yourself, or at least the mainstream trends. Well, this has more of a spike, much more traction, probably more monetary gain if you're into that, but it's much more short-lived. So you can see a lot of YouTubers that almost get desperate when their channel starts going downhill, and they try to hit this mark over and over and over. But it's not longevity. As soon as that scandal or that outrageous clip or whatever it might be dies down, which is usually only a few weeks, this one goes away and the entire circle collapses. So that's basically my main tips on how to run a channel. Some basic analytics, audience retention, click-through ratio. This is just stuff that the algorithm measures how good your video is. Of course, not all enjoyment of a video is reflected in this, but if you want some tangible numbers, this stuff is pretty good to go after. Monetization, me personally, I don't care about making dollars on every video I make. A lot of them are passion projects, but the sad truth is, which people have also noticed, is that demonetized videos don't get shown to people. So if I have spent time on a project that I want people to see, I have no choice but to censor it to the extent that I can get this green symbol. Otherwise, no one sees it, which is understandable from a business perspective, but it's still a shame because I don't want that to steer my creativity. Anyway, click-through ratio, very good, important to consider, because this is basically your thumbnail and title, which is a very small part of the video investment. Of all the time you spend recording, editing, making a title and thumbnail is the smallest investment, but it can make such a big difference. So this is definitely worth investing some time in. I usually have smaller Discord groups with my friends, for example, One Topic and Salty, where we often ping pong thumbnails and titles back and forth until we kind of have a consensus like, yeah, that's a good one. Develop over time, and this can take a long time. I would say probably, I'm just gonna spitball a number, let's say 100 videos. It can go faster, it can go slower. It depends on who you are, what content you make, how you develop over time, what kind of content you make. But I would say most people, they try to upload like 3 or 4 videos and they get tired because they don't see the spurt right away. And it is a massive time investment. The uphill to actually being able to turn YouTube into some kind of job, it's a long curve, and don't underestimate it. You should be passionate about the creativity you do, and then if you're lucky, you can grow it in the future. But it does take time, like anything else in the world. And then again, balance trends versus your core audience. That is some of my best tips I can give when it comes to YouTube, without spilling too much of my personal secrets, I guess. So I do hope you enjoyed this little video. I hope you found it educational or helpful. And remember to click subscribe if you enjoyed it, and check out the other videos. And other than that, I hope you have an amazing day, night time, or whatever times you live. And I will see you in the next video. Take care. Oh, that's some good coffee.